do need a haircut, though.
You do. Welcome back to the Convo Couch, everyone. Fiorella needs a haircut, and I am Pasta Jardula.
I'm Fiorella.
Johnny Sue spitting on the ones and twos. Boomerang is flying all around this room somewhere. Where the hell is he at? And Eva
He's a boomerang.
is in the casa.
Shh. Stop.
I'm sorry. Well, it is my birthday, y'all. Thank you so much for coming
Happy
in
birthday,
here.
Pasta.
How does it my birthday and there's only 30 people here and here? What's going on?
They're coming in, Pasta. It's okay.
So
Don't
far,
be sensitive.
We have Allison. I know right now people are going to stay away. The
Pasta
squad.
works on his birthday.
Jai's here. Pork chop.
Hi, Jai. Hi,
Hey,
Pork Chop.
Boomerang. Boomalicious is here as well. He just came to say hi. So, fam, we're going to have a quick show today. Not going to go cray-cray.
Is it going to be quick knowing us? I don't know.
I know, right? Quick for us is like...
It's like an hour.
Yes.
Yeah.
By the way, fam, we are now hit over 5,000 followers on ROKFIN.
Yay.
Thank you very much. We only have 2 viewers over there, but if you have a chance, it's free today.
Yeah.
Free for my birthday. As a birthday gift, it would be great if you can go over and sign up, if you haven't signed up, and watch us over on ROKFIN.
Yeah.
We're trying to build a platform from the ground up.
We are, and it's good. And, you know, if you, I don't know, it's the alternative to YouTube. They're not shutting us down. We saw Graham's live stream be shut down. I don't know if you did, but Johnny and I were watching it, and then it shut down completely. So this has been happening to a lot of YouTubers. So there's always, you shouldn't put all your eggs in one basket. So,
Kanoa Kwa, Karen M, Quaster. I think it says Quaster.
It's entertaining just seeing Pasta read the names.
Freedom Tribe, what's up? Thank you so much for all the birthday wishes. So is Angie Gracie. My birthday, Mr. Aries.
His birthday is the day the Titanic sank. Just so you guys know.
Thank you very much, fam. Right now, I'm going to send this to my mother.
It's a metaphor. We are the Titanic. We're sinking.
You know who else? What else happened on April 14th? What president died on April 14th?
John F. Kennedy?
Nope. Come on. We just watched the JFK movie.
I fell asleep. I always fall asleep.
John, which president died on April 14th? There's the Titanic fucking sinking.
There we are. Iceberg straight to head, sir.
Fam, I'm sending this to my mom right now.
Oh my God, the whistle from what is it? The Titanic, the whistle cards. The what? The penny whistle from the Titanic, you guys. We were playing Cards Against Humanity and somebody used that card.
Aw. So there's a good friend of mine, Mandy Goolsby, who just recently came back in my life. She gave me a call. She's in lockdown in Alabama. She's doing well, but would you believe it or not, she's the person I saw Titanic with in the movie theater.
Oh, wow.
We were laughing about that because I was laughing out loud in the middle of the last scene when he was just hanging onto the raft, and she was getting pissed off that I was laughing out loud so much. So, yeah, we were talking about that.
There's still arguments that 2 of them could have fit on that door,
fam. That's why I was laughing hysterically.
It's ridiculous. Leonardo isn't a big guy. Jesus Christ.
Okay, I just sent the show to Mom and my sister. There you are. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? If you join up for ROKFIN for my birthday, there's an app. See that app? That's the ROKFIN app. There's our show. You just click right on, and boom. I will tell you this much about the actual shot. It is clean. Look at that.
Look at the Titanic in all its glory.
Look at that.
Sinking, thinking it so arrogantly would stay afloat.
Fam, it's clean. So that's our ROKFIN, and that's our YouTube.
I'm being super deep here, and he's all like, yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? Listen, we had to come on today because we have to get a little serious here for a second because yesterday, I
don't know if I can.
Yesterday was a little bit of a crazy day.
I'll just be super angry.
I know, but yesterday early, hey Jackson Facts, love you. What's going on, buddy?
Jackson Facts. I love your music.
A vaccine is no good, is what Jackson Facts says. He says it's okay. We have to test it. But to rush the vaccine, very, very dangerous.
I never had the flu vaccine, really, fam.
No.
Yeah.
Well, he said, would you make a vaccine for a cold?
I don't get sick though. So
it's very, very dangerous. He recommends vitamin C. Johnny picked up some vitamin C today. So we're helping ourselves against the coronavirus. If you haven't checked out Jackson Facts, his last video has way too few views. It needs more views. Very educational, different point of view.
Really great.
Take a look at Jackson Facts. He also has a very good, distinguished voice like this.
He does.
And,
it's like
over there.
Radio voice.
Let me tell you about Johnny. And
he could be the new guy that announces all the movies.
Yeah, he can do Jackson Facts. And he's a great yoga instructor.
Is he?
When we do our shows, when we do our big live streams, when we have the before the coronavirus, and we did the whole long time streams for the primaries, Jackson Facts. Every time we would heat up, it was Johnny created the CONVO cool down session, and it said breathe, whatnot. Jackson Facts would come and name a pose. He's like warrior pose, whatnot. So he was like our yoga instructor at Hard Times. We were watching the rigged freaking things. So talking about the rigged, which we're not going to talk deeply about today, but once again, fam. Nobody ever called out the rigging. So yesterday, I had to wake up to, oh my Lord, 2 beautiful old white men. No country for old white men.
I can't.
You're embarrassing me. You weren't at the last 2 meetings, guys, and
then
you missed our advice.
They decided to unite against the movement full of, what was the movement? What did they say? The multicultural, multi-generational movement. 2 white men discussing what they're going to do with that.
All right. Are we going through this video?
Yeah, we're going to
Because I don't want to jump the gun and say some shit, because I'd like to just start bawling on this left and right. I know a lot of people who watch our show have probably already seen Jimmy go off and whatnot, and a couple other people, and Nico, I think, did a little show about it too. Everybody's just losing their shit right now, because I understand that a lot of us knew this was coming, that it would be an endorsement. Yeah. But why? Why didn't Tulsi, which and Bernie, but use the cover of the coronavirus, play politically. If I was Bernie Sanders, I just wouldn't be feeling good right now. I endorse Joe Biden. I got to go away. But he's like, no, I mean, I would like fake.
Oh yeah. But he's all like, yes, Joe, I will do everything it takes to get you into the White House.
Use the cover of the coronavirus to say that you have fevers.
The most dangerous president in American history.
Dude, if I was Senator
Sanders, I hear that one more time, Bernie,
I would have my assistant say, I'm sorry, Mr. Joe Biden's people, but Senator Sanders isn't feeling well today. He's not going to be on the live stream.
He ate a bad, what is it, knish?
Yeah, he had a bad knish. Knish. You have any Gouldens mustards, which we're out of Gouldens mustard, by the way. I had a couple hot dogs. Whatnot.
All right, so let's get to it.
Yes. What's the first part?
Let's start. Okay. Yeah.
Do we have the tweet up, though?
220.
We must come together.
Okay, there you go.
To defeat the most dangerous president in modern history. Now, that's just my opinion. And I'm joining at Joe Biden's live stream with a special announcement.
You said it better than he did, because he didn't say that's just my opinion.
To address the terrible pain that so many of our fellow Americans are feeling. So today I am asking all Americans, I'm asking every Democrat, I'm asking every independent, I'm asking a lot of Republicans to come together in this campaign to support your candidacy, which I endorse, to make certain that we defeat somebody who I believe, and I'm speaking just for myself now, is the most dangerous president in the modern history of this country. A president, and you made this point, who downplayed this pandemic, who ignored the advice that some of his people were giving him, who has not used the Defense Production Act early on so that we could produce the masks, the gowns, the gloves, the ventilators that our medical personnel desperately need, who today, because I understand.
Okay. So, yeah, we're not.
I'm searching. I'm ordering. I'm postmating 2-3 throw-up bags right now. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, so, okay. Let me start back with when Tulsi endorsed Joe Biden. Mm-hmm. I was like, when Bernie does this, I'm going to call him out too. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, I expected him to do it a little bit later. I expected him to not let people go out and vote, risk their lives, and then drop out, I also didn't expect him to go full on. Yes, Biden, we're going to get behind you and we're going to rally behind you. And you, my supporters, should go rally with him, because that is far worse than anything Tulsi Gabbard ever did. That is far worse than anything anybody else ever did. And I know Graham and I were saying, the moment Bernie does this, we're going to go hard after him. And guess what? Like, this is where I break up with Bernie. You're endorsing a guy who I believe is a rapist.
On my birthday?
On your birthday. I'm so
sorry.
On
my 47th
After 5 years of a relationship.
We will always remember.
We had ups and downs.
Fiorella is breaking up with Bernie on my 47th birthday.
It is all about you today.
Give me a gift. Give us something out there, please.
And after 5 years of ups and downs, of many beautiful, wonderful moments,
had your good times.
Of him influencing me and me being part of the reason why we're all here today, I cannot follow Bernie Sanders down his path. I'm not going to cancel him, just like I won't cancel Tulsi, because I believe that they have some sort of good, genuine desire to do something better for the world. However, they're politicians, and they've shown me they're politicians, especially Bernie. Because now I have to question everything else that happened. Why did Tulsi Gabbard endorse Joe Biden? Maybe Bernie Sanders told her to. Maybe she was told, yeah, I'm going to drop out. Because later on in this video, they discuss that there's been a task force at play for weeks. For weeks, they've been working together to sort of come together and unite, figure out how to defeat the boogeyman Donald Trump, because Donald Trump is all our issue. And if we remove Donald Trump, everything will be magically ponies and rainbows, because that's what he's telling us right here. That's what he's fucking saying. And he's wrong. He's so wrong. And anybody in his campaign that is helping him, that has done this, I don't know what to think, if he's being threatened or if this is just his reformist mentality, that he really thinks Donald Trump is the most dangerous president in modern American history.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but I'm not following him here, and neither are a lot of his most ardent defenders. Yeah. People who risk their lives for him.
Yeah.
They're heartbroken.
Yeah.
They're heartbroken. They feel like they've been used and discarded. Somebody said, I feel like a whore. Somebody said to me, like, how do you, like, of course you feel like you were used, and I totally, totally understand that. However, he did tell us he was going to do this for the longest time. He did say he was going to endorse a nominee, and we knew that as of a few weeks ago, when he was just not fighting anymore, we knew that he was more of a reformist and a revolutionary, and now it's up to us, and that's it. And it sucks, but
somebody
this is
sent me a meme. It has a piece of toilet paper, and it was Bernie Sanders. It says, which sold out quicker?
Wow.
I know, Goose sent it. I loved it, whatnot. Listen, I don't have a lot to say on this because, my first mindset was, okay, now that this is really hitting home for a lot of people, a lot of people who were Bernie or bust, they really got
behind
the man.
And they still are. Like, they're just not.
Some, but I knew there was going to be a lot that would be just really, there are some of us who are really so pro-Bernie, but they're inside the bubble, and they're politically savvy enough to know that this is this is the end of the road, and there's going to be a lot of them. So my first question was like, and we're going to get to at the end of the show, I'm sure, was, what do we have to do to move forward? Now that we have to understand what's in front of us right now, and it's a shame because Bernie is just kind of, with that speech yesterday, he just ruined so much more of his legacy. He just kind of threw it right away in the toilet. And Redneck Economics says, happy birthday from me and Montauk. And there is the MCSC Network with Nico House. Happy birthday.
On fam.
Pasta. Love you, Nico.
Nico.
So, but there are some things I want to talk about too as well, because this is something that's important as we transition into this. I remember what Stoller said on Jimmy Dore's show and how upset he was and everything like that. But it's understanding how to govern. And we as people have to understand what's going on that House floor, in that Senate floor, and how eventually, the difference between getting in a room and talking about ideas and actually putting them to play.
Yeah.
And that's something that I really, once again, to me, it seems like the grandstanding that will be going on. And also, I want somebody, fam, and I know this is kind of, because we're going to have this conversation, and I know we're going to differ on where a third party should probably be.
Right.
Maybe, I don't know if we'll differ, but I know that you're more of a true leftist. Like, very much like that Aaron Mattei, Mark Sloboda. You're left for this, where I've kind of moved, on the periphery, the libertarian-minded that you make fun of me all the time. But once again, I still think the libertarians have the most important message. Not getting too far ahead, but it will kind of bleed into what Bernie Sanders is talking coming up. So let's go to the next clip. And we'll also talk about this because you jumped the gun and said for weeks. But it does make you think for fucking weeks.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Judd. Sorry.
A president who lies all of the time, a president who has at least shown me that he is a racist and a sexist and a homophobe and a xenophobe and a religious bigot. I mean, for all of those reasons or more, we've got to make Trump a one-term president, and we need you in the White House. So I will do all that I can to see that happens, Joe. And I know that there is an enormous responsibility on your shoulders right now. And it's imperative that all of us work together to do what has to be done, not only in this moment.
Okay.
You know, it seems like the more, once again, the grandstanding, this is the stuff that makes you think that he's party over politics. You know, somebody said they were addicted to Stoller's feed, Karen Daly, his Twitter. But the story he told us was very shocking. And it's the fact that, you know, Bernie Sanders can kind of be somewhat of a lackey and wants to be more part of the group, is what Stoller kind of emphasized. And a lot of us question that and say, come on, man, Bernie Sanders is about principle and his policies.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, that's where I disagree with him. I don't think it's about that. I mean, I think
but this behavior kind of...
It does seem, like, to me...
You got a lot on your shoulders there, Fiorella. And, yeah. Right? I mean,
to a degree, I think it means that he thinks he can get more by protecting who he is. I mean, he said he didn't want to be, what's his name?
Ralph Nader.
Ralph Nader. So if it's more important to you to not be Ralph Nader... than to actually do the right thing and actually lead and stand against the establishment. But then obviously you are putting some sort of power leverage thing first. But I don't think he's doing that because he wants all this power. I think he genuinely believes this is the way to do it. I think he's genuinely a reformist. He hasn't shown me otherwise. He hasn't taken the money. He hasn't sold out. I have no reason to think that he's not, like this reformist. However, we don't need a reformist right now. We need revolutionaries.
Yeah. You know who just jumped on the ROKFIN?
Who?
She said, happy birthday, pasta. Fellow Aries, Kim Iverson is
Kim.
all over there with Rocky Bellinger over on the ROKFIN. And tomorrow, thank you very much there, Kim Iverson. Tomorrow we will do another game show with certain people in the house. I'll give you one guest who's going to be on tomorrow. If you haven't seen his Twitter, go on over. Poppy Chulam, my man from Syria, he'll be on the show tomorrow. He's going to do some trivia. That's a ROKFIN exclusive. We only do it on Wednesdays. And we'll be on YouTube all the time.
Fam,
I'm getting my game show voice.
You are
ready.
You are, fam.
And listen, you know who's on the chat right now? This is one of my favorite names, the Great White Shark. Roll the next clip, Johnny.
Yeah.
Well, Bernie, I want to thank you.
He's looking
for that. It's a big deal, I think that your endorsement means a great deal. It means a great deal to me. I think people are going to be surprised that we are apart on some issues, but we're awfully close on a whole bunch of others. And I think you've made. If I am the nominee, which it looks like now you just made me, I'm going to need you, not just to win the campaign, but to govern. And so. Do you have any questions for me, Bernie, at all?
I did, Joe.
It's almost like professional wrestling, like they're setting it up. Is this the time when I asked Bernie Sanders that how he wants me to get more dragged to the left to get his followers to come vote for me? It's terrible.
It was just bad. I mean, you can tell he's not following, and he has a freaking teleprompter there. I mean, I don't know how much more you need. We don't have teleprompters in front of us.
Yeah.
It's just I just don't get it. I honestly, I'm trying to figure out what is going on in Bernie's head.
Yeah.
Like, why he's not stupid. He has to know that there's something with Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Like, I am leaning conspiracy here, and I'm not saying that in a belittling way. I mean, like, did somebody threaten Bernie? Like, what's going on? Like,
a lot of people felt in 2016 at the convention right before he made that kind of pivot.
So there's also the rules where he had to pay to get into this
the Unity Fund.
The Unity Fund, where he had to campaign and support the nominee and also like give them money, fundraise in that way. So those are the rules. But I mean, I guess we can't, he's playing by the rules of the Democratic Party. These are their rules, as bullshit as they are. This is why people didn't really want him to run as a Democrat. This was the last chance we were giving the Democratic Party. So if understanding that, he shouldn't dare ask us to go vote for Joe Biden. If you know that the only reason we're here is because of you, we're going to leave anyway. Why the hell are you asking people to vote for Joe Biden?
Yeah. It's funny, too, because there's so many questions we have to ask right now. I think more than ever, you see, the movement for the People's Party is really heating up online. And
Green Party. People are signing up there.
Libertarians
Socialist Alternative, Peace and Freedom, all of them.
All this shit. Kim Iverson was on the show last Wednesday on our ROKFIN exclusive, and she talked about it like a new party, how it's going to look. And I'm much in agreement when it comes to her. I'm not in agreement with when it comes to election rigging and how she thought maybe Joe Biden got a lot of votes. We disagree there. But what the third party or new party, a workers' party, whatever we're going to call it, how's it going to look? And I'm very much in tune with her, and we'll talk about that later. Let's get to the next clip.
Yeah.
The last clip.
The crisis that we're in right now, very well that millions of our people are working for starvation wages. And one of the fights that I've been waging for a number of years now is to raise that minimum wage to at least $15 an hour. Is that something, Joe, that you are supportive of?
Bernie, I am extremely supportive of that. And I thank you for leading on it. I thank you for your endorsement, your support. But it means a great deal to me personally. As I said in my statement, when you suspended your campaign, I want to thank you for being the powerful voice. And you've been the most powerful voice for a fair and more just America. It's a voice like yours that refuses to allow us just to accept what is. You've refused to accept that we can't change what's wrong in our nation. You refuse to accept that health and well-being of our fellow citizens and our planet isn't the responsibility of somebody else. It's our responsibility to act now. And you don't get enough credit, Bernie, for being the voice that forces us to take a hard look in the mirror and ask ourselves, have we done enough? And we haven't. One issue you've led in the past is making sure.
Okay. I asked Pasta for a bucket so I could vomit because.
Well, they also start talking about, I don't think we went over it so much, but they talk a lot about what they're going to do, that their campaigns have been working together for weeks.
Yep.
Boom. That's what kind of, I think, makes you suspicious of why Tulsi didn't endorse, because maybe she was told, just give it some time.
Yeah.
We'll do what we got to do. Maybe some people can collect some paychecks, whatever.
Yeah.
Who knows what the fuck maybe. It's a campaign. We don't know what goes on behind the thing. But let me tell you something. This is something that we really need to get into, is the fact is that we have to stop with the just the room and the ideas. Talking about ideas are great. Getting those ideas into policy and into action is what we need. That is why I am so upset with Bernie Sanders. And once again, you can get in a room and make a task force and talk about all the shit you want. Donald Trump controls the fucking White House. You want something in play, you got to go to him. And I know we might disagree on should he go to him or not, but at this freaking point, what are you going to just do? Sit in a room and talk about ideas that will never come to light, fam? It makes no sense to me. Well, it's just grandstanding to the people.
It is grandstanding because Joe Biden isn't really for $15 minimum wage. He says he supports it now. What makes you think, based on his record, his policies, his lack of integrity, that he's actually going to follow through with anything that Bernie Sanders demands? Why should he? Bernie has no leverage now. Zero leverage. No. I mean, he literally, this was one of the biggest mistakes he could have made is to drop out this soon. He had zero leverage, absolutely no way, no asking. Convention. I wanted him to demand something. What are we getting in return? We're getting nothing just because Joe Biden's your friend. And that's what it feels like. It's like, okay, Joe Biden, hating Donald Trump matters more to him than listening to his base. And that's what's going on here. And that's why so many people are angry, because people literally put their life on hold for him and they feel like they deserve more than this. But at the same time, that's, I guess, our own faults for believing in a politician when politicians are always going to be politicians first. And that's why we have to go outside the movement into outside of the electoral politics and demand things. Like Pasta said, if we look back on the civil rights movement, if we look back on the gay rights movement, if we look back on every movement, those demands came more than anything from people in the streets demanding. 1000%. They didn't come from the electorate and people getting elected. That change is too slow, and the Democratic Party is just, you can't be reformed.
It's kind of funny because Papi Chulo, who's coming on tomorrow, he talks in that little speech about what FDR did. But, FDR and both Lyndon Baines Johnson were in a position where they had to do something because the people in the streets were like, they're not going to take it anymore. Yeah. Lyndon Baines Johnson had just had to witness Kennedy getting killed, Martin Luther King getting killed, Malcolm X getting killed. What's the Italian priest name? I always forget his name. God, he's great too. Another movement guy, anti-Vietnamese guy. But people were in the streets of all likes, sizes, colors, races, religions, and they wanted to change. So we had no choice to do that. Same thing with FDR. You know what I'm saying? People were starving in the street. It was pitchfork time. There's a famous letter from FDR to his brother, and his brother was saying, well, maybe we're going to have to give up some of the finances we have. So get some finances to the people just so we won't be braised and eaten, because that's where we were at. And this is where we're at right now. General strike, rent strike, fucking debt strike right now. That's the only solution.
I just want to
to
say
the streets, fam.
It's to the streets, fam, and it's freaking just unnerving seeing all of the establishment all of a sudden, all the establishment that has been smearing Bernie, belittling him, smearing his freaking supporters, people like Brianna Joy Gray, people like Nina Turner, people like Zephyr Treachout, all of them getting all this shit from these neoliberals, and all Bernie Sanders can do is stand by Joe Biden, and we're gonna go into that because that's even worse.
Tim CONVO, who's that? Is that a flavor of? Is that a place where we get good pastrami in South Florida? No, but Meteor Dream says, "What do you think about Sam Cedar shilling for Biden?"
God.
Not surprised.
If anyone's
one
surprised,
fucking bit.
Sorry, if you've watched our show, we've been telling you that this guy's a freaking neo-progressive, neoliberal, whatever you want to call him. They work for MSNBC, dude. People who make money off of that. Like, I'm sorry, you're not going to convince me that their values aren't up for grabs. That's why it's so difficult to be independent, truly independent media, because nobody tells us what we can't say, what to cover, any of that stuff.
Jim Garrison says, "Happy 47th birthday, Pasta. The USA pulled a bloodless coup in your honor."
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Congrats, fam.
Bernie Sanders Biden coup. Oh, my God. David Crow, thank you so much.
Crow! Uncle Crow!
Let me tell you something. Can I do it in Crow voice?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to get myself a fine Mexican lager. All right. I'm building a guillotine. Barbecue, eat the rich.
Hell yeah.
Trailer for the van. And let's watch some Doug Stanhope.
Hell yeah.
Like that, John? That was for you, John. I had to throw the Doug Stanhope. I came home, all I was thinking about was your meatloaf. And then Johnny laughed at me for asking.
That was a really good impression of Crow.
That was David Crow. David Crow, we love you. We miss you. Don't come near us with your coronavirus. Stay over there, motherfucker. If the zombie apocalypse, then get your ass over here and help us because we're going to need your help. Fam, what's this APAC news?
Okay, so not APAC.
What's this app
so
interview?
Breaking news,
Who's
Sanders says that
AP.
opposing Biden, he went further from that. Now he's saying opposing Biden is absolutely irresponsible. I know. You're like, who is she gonna kill today? I don't know. I might
on
kill
my
people.
birthday.
I'm
Bernie.
sorry. I might commit murder today. And yeah, I might kill Joe Biden though, because he's the one that's
it's just
really
so hard. He's telling people you're irresponsible. You know, that's what Nico was saying all today. I'm glad that Tulsi Gabbard didn't go tell me to vote for her. You know what I'm saying? Because she didn't. She's like, all right, I'm endorsing Joe. I love you, Bernie. Peace. Avoid the chicken greets and out. And that's it. Gone. This motherfucker's going to be pushing. He's going to be sitting shotgun next to Joe. The tour dates, it's coming on there. Get a hat. Bernie loves Biden. Biden loves Bernie. Whatever you want. B&B. Whatever you're going to call these fuckers. But now he's going out there and telling you, it's like, irresponsible, why, Bernie? Fam. Please take it away.
Why? Why? Why are you doing this? So he said it would be irresponsible for his loyalists not to support Joe Biden, wanting the progressives who sit on their hands in the months ahead would simply enable President Donald Trump's reelection. Bernie Sanders is vote blue no matter who, you guys.
He's got TDS.
He's vote blue no. He's literally telling me the same thing that these freaking centrist idiots, neoliberals, are telling me on my Facebook to guilt trip me, thinking that that's going to work and make me all of a sudden vote for Joe Biden. I was never a Democrat. That's the thing. Like, I was for a long time until I figured out who they were. Then I completely was an independent. And then guess what? The only person that incentivized me to get involved in politics was Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders is gone. He's whatever. He's part of the Democratic Party. We broke up. I'm not voting for your fucking party. I'm not being a loyalist. We are not a cult. And for years and years, these people have said we're a cult. Guess what? We're not. We're all walking away, and some people are going to walk different places. But I think what we should all do in unison is literally not vote for Joe Biden, because Joe Biden, voting for Joe Biden to me is more, it's more undemocratic.
Bernard says it's irresponsible.
Bernard is wrong. Bernard is wrong in this. He's being a boomer. He's wrong. He's being a total boomer, and it gets worse.
Oh shit, we got super chats all over the place. We actually read them. Eat the Rich, David Crow. Yeah. You have one birthday, Pasta. The rest are just A's.
Aw. David Crow.
David Crow.
All right.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
David Crow, thank you for leaving some of that zombie apocalypse food. Like right now, I'm glad that I have a bag of beef stew.
Oh my God. Tulsi would not
a
like
bag
that.
a bag of beef stew that can. Oh my God, I love you.
We need to
Crow.
introduce you to Tina's
I love you, Crow. I miss you.
falafels
We really
or whatever.
do.
Okay,
Oh
so
my God.
wait, so we're not done. So
What do you mean? You're gonna piss me off even more?
I am, because he
Oh.
went after the people who have stood by him
Oh
the
my
most.
God.
So he said
Stoller was right.
it's probably a fair assumption that he wouldn't run for president again. You can't predict the future. He said he spoke at length about his decision to endorse Joe Biden. And then he said during an interview with the Associated Press, he railed against the Republican president, but also offered pointed criticism at his own supporters who have so far resisted his vow to do whatever it takes to help Biden win the presidency. He seemed to distance himself from his campaign former National Press Secretary, Brianna Joy Gray, when asked about her recent statement on social media refusing to endorse Joe Biden. Quote, "She is my former press secretary, not on the..." Okay, go ahead. Please.
She is my former press secretary, not on the payroll. That's it. Sorry.
Yeah, so... he also said, do we be as active as we can in electing Joe Biden and doing everything we can to move Joe and his campaign in a more progressive direction? Or do we choose to sit it out and allow the most dangerous president in modern history to get reelected?
Fuck you, man.
I believe that it is irresponsible
you.
for anybody to say, well, I disagree with Joe Biden, and therefore I'm not going to be involved. Are you kidding me? I can't
What a fucking shilling, cheap hurting piece of shit.
If he really... Okay, so I'm always critical of press. I don't know if this is... I don't take this as fact, but if he did say this is freaking awful. Not only he's throwing Brianna Joy Gray under the bus. Brianna Joy Gray... Let's just... we're on Twitter. I'm on Twitter. I have seen how she's been attacked. They literally... the Biden bros literally took her and photoshopped pictures of essential workers, of her face on essential workers, one in a McDonald's and another one, I think, like, doing something cleaning. And they've mocked her. They've called her names. And instead of standing by her, he's saying, oh, yeah, like, she's no longer on my payroll. If he really said that, that is, like, something I just don't know who this person is.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't sound like Bernie. It genuinely makes me feel like he's been threatened. This is why. Because I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
Like, I can understand sheep herding for Joe Biden, but to go like that against Brie, and then...
Well, then you start going after your own people. That just shows you who you were loyal to in the first place, or whatnot.
But
or, I mean...
it doesn't make sense.
This is worse than last time, because I don't even
sense.
remember this behavior in 2016.
Yeah.
2016, he was like, vote your conscience. But this time, he's like, you got to go do this, and if you don't, Trump, the most dangerous person in the world.
It's irresponsible.
Yeah, please.
It's not. Okay, here's the thing.
I would really like to have a one-on-one with Aaron Matei to see how he's going to really convince me that Joe Biden isn't worse than Donald Trump when it comes to foreign policy. Because I know that Donald Trump surrounds himself with some of the worst people in the face of the earth when it comes to, Elliot Abrams and whatnot. But still. A. Mar says, thank you for coming to Iowa, fam, and blowing the lid off from the start. Happy birthday, pasta. More cooking videos, please. We will do that. You were saying something about that. And
so
yes,
he cooks every day. So I was just saying we should put a camera and just film it, and then you guys can see it.
Well, I can't cook and film myself at the same time.
No.
Mike Ungerleiter says, oh, Bernard. Sad, sad times. Apparently, TDS spreads faster than the coronavirus. P.S. Happy birthday, pasta. Yes, it does.
It does, Mikey, apparently.
Excuse me. Can you I got a special message. That girl. What's up? That girl. Happy birthday, pasta. Do you remember when asked, bullet to your head, Trump or Biden? Yeah, I picked the bullet. I do remember that girl. You can reach me at craigjardula@gmail.com. Hit me up. Thank you so much. That girl.
That girl.
243 watchers over there. There are 13 viewers on ROKFIN. And Kim, we're going to talk a little bit more about what you said. It's important. Guys, as we're seeing this, we know there's no alternative. It's walking time. Mm-hmm. We have no fucking friends in Washington. 0 friends in fucking Washington. And the lefty movement did not work out half as good as the righty movement, because the righty movement, at least at one time, had the Freedom Caucus that was one day ready to plant their flag in the ground and not fucking move. They made Boehner cry. A Republican House leader could not get anything done because his own fucking party said, no, we're the Tea Party within this movement, and you're going to do what we said. Did that happen on the left? Did the squad hold the fucking ground? Did Bernie Sanders and the squad hold the ground and say no? Mm-mm. Instead, they got nothing. They got Fucking
and then he got nothing again with endorsing Joe Biden.
Nothing.
So and I just want to say, like, I just I just can't. I had something to say, and now I'm just blinded by like this irrational like anger that I have right now.
Yeah.
So, what? Let's see.
Sorry, the next one right there, Tuesday.
Okay. So
we have the Obama stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
This is a triple whammy for you.
Because really, to tell you the truth, we haven't talked a lot about this. You have Obama was the king behind the scenes.
I think he was a kingmaker. If you guys recognize that term, he's the kingmaker.
He was, because they said he would get involved if he had to. And when he had to, Obama made the calls. It was right around South Carolina time, fan. He got on the horn with Clyburn. He told, hey, let me talk to you there, Buddha, what's his name over here? Buttigieg, let me talk to you. You're going to have to drop out for Joe. Yeah, you know, me and Michelle, whatever. We'll bring you on your yacht. You're going to have to do it. Amy? How you doing, Amy? I'm going to need you to drop out for Joe. Yeah. He consolidated all the power. It was this man right here, which just shows me, and I'm going to hand it over to you right now, fam. He's just as sinister and just as scary as the Clintons. Got to keep an eye on this man.
And we knew that he was behind this. Remember during the Stop Bernie movement that there were all these ties to him. But he thinks he's so coy that he can just literally wait till the last minute and endorse Joe Biden. Then after, so people think, oh, he was, no, he planned this all along. He was the one manipulating people behind the scenes. In fact, he was the one that communicated with Sanders. And I think he had a lot to do with that. And there's been, people saying that was the case. Obama is foul. He is like the guy that is, in a way, so psychopathic, where he presents himself as this big change maker, as this guy that was a socialist. I mean, when he ran, people were calling him a socialist. And he's a conservative. He's a Republican, pretty much. He even admitted that he's more Republican than anything.
Yeah.
And like,
his policies were definitely center right.
Yeah, absolutely center right for America. Yeah. Like, because elsewhere, not even that.
Elsewhere, they're right.
Yeah. And he's the reason this angers me so much, you guys, is because I don't know how many times we have to say this. The reason Donald Trump is there is a lot to do with Obama, and not only Obama, but Bush before him, the other Bush before him, Clinton before him. I mean, all of these pieces led to the election of Donald Trump. And if you think simply removing Donald Trump is going to save this country, you are completely missing the point that the wound is much deeper than that. And that's why I know Bernie Sanders isn't dumb enough to not see that. So I question exactly what exactly is this? Is this a generational thing? Like, what exactly is this? And I just come to the conclusion that at the end of the day, they're politicians, and they have to adhere to certain political rules, and that's why we're not going to get anywhere via the electorate the way it is. We don't even have fair elections, and not once has Bernie Sanders mentioned that. Nope. Not once has the majority of even left media has mentioned that.
How about this? When I run for president one day, I'm not going to campaign in the Super Tuesday states and still win them by a landslide like Super Joe Biden.
Because he's that magical and likable.
I know, right? Like, really, he didn't even campaign in fucking California. In Los Angeles, he almost got 500,000 votes. Bullshit. We could see we're in the swamp here, fam. There's a gator behind us coming on.
No, it's my land. It's Florida. We're used to it.
Happy birthday, Pasta Craig. Lefty's got bupkis. We're going to talk about that, because is it really about lefties or is it about populism, fam?
It's about the class struggle.
Yes.
I think.
Yeah. Oh, it's always about the class struggle.
Yeah.
Always. At the end of the day, it's always about the class struggle.
Somebody made a good point. I think it was Aaron LeBrun on Twitter. He was like, Chomsky's vote blue no matter who. He's like, yeah, we all respect Chomsky. No. But at the end of the day, has this guy ever been working class? No. And would his experience be different and his reaction be different? Absolutely. It all comes down to us, the bottom versus the top. And even Bernie Sanders has a blind spot when it comes to that.
So David Crow says, come out to the compound and let's go shooting, fam. I'll come pick you up. Hell yeah, I'll show you how to shoot a shotgun, a Glock. Yeah, we'll have some fine Mexican lagers and then shoot it. Zip,
hell yeah.
Nada, nothing from David Crow. Thank you so much. Snorky,
let's go,
Y2K. Crow. Look at the beautifulness. Thank you, Snorky Y2K. It's a beautiful birthday gift, and I haven't done it yet tonight, so let me do it. Thank you for the Super Chat contribution. It is always appreciated on the couch. Please, you'll love it. Not much difference between Biden and Trump. Same crimes, except the sniffling. The sniffing, not the sniffling. Little girl groping, the hatred of Social Security, Medicare for all, and dementia. So might as well 4 years of Trump versus 4 years of Biden and 8 years of Biden's VP.
Yeah, or 8 years. Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. I mean, that's what it would be.
Mel M says, happy birthday, yo. Mel M, come on over. Love your Meyer lemons. They're the best in town. Cam Schwari, Kate, thank you for the super chat contribution. It is always a
She has the best lemons, he said.
Pasta needs a birthday spanking.
Wow. Well. Do you want to give her your email, your number?
CraigJardula@gmail.com. Can you give me a virtual spanking?
Did he just get more red than he usually is? Okay. How do you virtually spank? I mean, we're entering like uncharted territory.
I don't know.
There's Zoom.
I don't know how to be virtually spanked. Boy, Boomer. Boomerang. He's beautiful. All right, fam. So let's listen to this Obama stuff because he drives me up a wall.
Yeah.
Thank you for everybody watching out there, Mel.
Mel, who's a menace on Twitter. Okay.
Obama. And he became a close friend. My best friend. And I believe Joe has all the qualities we need in a president right now. He's someone whose own life has taught him how to persevere, how to bounce back when you've been knocked down. When Joe talks with parents who've lost their jobs, we hear the son of a man who once knew the pain of having to tell his children that he'd lost his. When Joe talks about opportunity for our kids, we hear the young father who took the train home each night so he could tuck his children into bed. And we hear the influence of Jill, a lifelong teacher. When Joe talks to families who've lost a hero, we hear
his son died in a war that he fucking supported, Obama. You fucking gotta be. Remember him on the floor, Johnny? We played that video with the ants, How many times this piece of warmongering shit, fucking Ukraine, this guy wants to move all the freaking Navy into the South China Sea, and you want to sit up there and blow sunshine up his ass, Obama? And by the way, what the hell have you been snorting? Your friggin' eyes ain't even looking good, and your hair's so goddamn gray. You look like you just freaking growing old right in front of us. I can't stand you. The speech you're saying is reminiscent of what you said in 2016 when you did the same thing for fucking Hillary Clinton. We ain't buying it. Shove it up your ass. I will not vote for Joe.
Exactly. I mean, that's the thing. They're so arrogant. They think they can just get on TV and get Obama and it's going to be the same. Guess what? It's not. This is what I said in my last video. You guys, they do not see how bad this is. I mean, the vitriol and the hatred towards Joe Biden is real. And it's real because we're fed up. Yeah. It's 4 years later. We're poorer. We're sicker. We're undergoing a pandemic. We're in isolation. And you guys haven't done shit for the American people. And yet you guys want to throw the same neoliberal bullshit that elected Donald Trump. And it's shit. And you want to cover it in like a sweet tomato sauce.
Yeah.
A one like pasta makes.
Yeah.
And you want us to eat it up.
Yeah.
And it's still shit. And we're not going to do it. We're not going to do it.
That's right, because I'll make fresh pasta with Melissa M. I'm not going to use the shit and cover it up with my good sauce. And that's all Obama's trying to do, because let me tell you something. For you out there who say, oh, he's better with the racial movement. No, he's not. This motherfucker supported Nazis in the Ukraine with Joe Biden.
He built the cages.
He built the cages for the fucking kids. And guess what? There's an actual slave market going on in fucking Libya when he listened to Madam Secretary, who just let him off a fucking cliff.
Took us from 2 to 7 wars.
Piece of shit. Oz LaFave, thank you for the super chat contribution. It is always appreciated on the couch. Hey, na, 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 na. Bye, Obama. Happy birthday, Pasta Brother. You're a better man than some of the presidents, for sure. And the land of Oz, we love you. We want to get out there when the apocalypse ends. Johnny's been saying he wants to run around with the goats. I
want to jump off the cliffs. They have really great clips in Washington. Clips in the land
Our
of Oz,
Washington Bernie Krats, we love you. River Oracle, thank you for the super chat contribution. Birthday love and cheers. Pasta hashtag. Still Tulsi. Still Molly. Still Tulsi. Still Tulsi, still Molly.
Oh my God.
I think that's all of them.
Okay.
Who's this Melissa M girl? I did read that. Snorky J. No, it's not Snorky. I want a Snorky J and smoke it with Snorky Y2K. Sorry. Let's play the last part of the Obama. And you know what somebody actually said in the chat?
Yeah.
And I thought they were talking to me, but I realized they were talking to Obama. It's like, please shut the fuck up.
incredible progress that we made together during my presidency. But if I were running today, I wouldn't run the same race or have the same platform as I did in 2008. The world is different. There's too much unfinished business for us to just look backwards. We have to look to the future. Bernie understands that, and Joe understands that.
Jesus.
It's one of the reasons that Joe already has what is the most progressive platform of any major party nominee in history. Because even before the pandemic turned the world upside down, it was already clear that we needed real structural change. The vast inequalities created by the new economy are easier to see now.
You shouldn't have given me this. I'm going to throw this at the fucking... Somebody give me a lemon. I want to throw this lemon right at freaking... Oh, it's got to go... Oh, yeah. I want to throw it right at Obama's fucking head. You know, it's just so disgusting. The most progressive platform. That means dick. We haven't got nothing. And what job did you not finish, Obama? You threw $5 million out of your house. You want to throw an extra $1 million, $6 million to do the job off, to finish it off? What job? You invaded 7 countries. What job did you not finish, huh? People, inequality grew bigger. Okay, the income gap grew bigger. Did you not finish the fucking job there? You are a job, Obama. You should just go away. A hand job.
He's literally advocating for the same policies that we had in 2008 that put us in the situation like that we're in already right now. Like deregulation, giving money to banks, giving money to Wall Street, kicking people out of their houses. It's history repeating itself. And we're going to have Joe Biden as the guy to lead us out of that when he was Obama's BFF during the same exact type of scenario, except now on top of it, we have a disease, we have a pandemic, and Joe Biden's going to lead us through that. How is that logical? Like, it's laughable. It's laughable. And it's hilarious to me that people could still buy into this. And I want to say one optimistic thing, Pasta. I don't think a lot of people are buying this. I genuinely do not believe that. I am of the belief that I think Joe Biden is going to lose terribly to Donald Trump. Terribly.
Johnny, do you think most of the mainstream people out there watching are buying this? Yes or no?
It's hard. It's difficult. I'd say like 50%.
Yeah.
Well, see, you're being a little bit more. I thought you would see even. I would say that you would have said even close to 75%. Because here's the thing: us in the echo chamber, we understand what's going on. So we've seen it before. We've heard it before. We heard it in 2016. Same thing for fucking Hillary Clinton. I know Hillary Clinton has more experience than anybody who's ready to hold the White House, and we should nominate our first woman ever. When he did that shit, and you know, it's the same kind of speech. So I understand, we know, but when you see a lot of those people who still get upset when you talk bad about Obama, they still say, "I miss this guy. I wish he were here."
Yeah.
It scares me when something like this comes out, because I think in the mainstream. When it comes to mainstream matters, it's going to really have a serious effect, and a lot of people are going to take the bait and say, you know, Obama was my favorite president. He talks so eloquently. I'm going to go vote for Joe Biden.
But that's also another echo chamber. That's also another echo chamber of the centrist, and the majority of Americans are independents, and the majority of Americans aren't even paying attention to politics. So if you don't have somebody that it's incentivizing people to go out there and vote, people are going to stay home. And the people that aren't going to stay home are going to vote third party.
Yeah.
And so you're going to, you should see Donald Trump, because I often look at what the conservative media is doing. And so I see how Donald Trump frames everything. He's right now talking about them having rigged Bernie Sanders. And one of Bernie's biggest mistakes is not attacking the Democratic Party the way Donald Trump attacked the Democratic Party, because guess what? He's looking a lot braver and like he's ready to fight. And that's what the left needed, the same type of populist Trump, but not a Trump, but a Bernie. But the problem with Bernie is that he had too much. He was too kind and too above the fray, and we needed somebody that would take the gloves off, and he didn't do that. And that's the only thing that could beat Donald Trump. Joe Biden isn't even present. He's a freaking corpse. He's not going to be able to turn this around and beat Donald Trump. That's why I don't believe that that's a possibility.
This alligator over here. Gregory Wonderwheel says, thanks for keeping the faith in populist, anti-oligarch critique and rage against the machine.
Always.
There's no place inside the Democratic Party for progressives. There isn't. But there could be a combination of somebody who just Maybe they're not on the left, fam. I know you make fun of me for my libertarian friends, but the things that are most important to the libertarians, progressives feel strong about them. The progressives who understand them feel strongly about them. And I think that that's where a possible third party can come from. It's like what Kim Iverson talked about. It can't just be on the left. Is it just solely going to be about the left? Because if it's left, it's like, well, what about our civil liberties? Yeah, Medicare for all. That doesn't work when you're saying, we have to maybe kick it over to the SEC. It looks like they're suppressing our voices and putting their voices. I agree with you. Medicare for all. No, you got it. I mean, you cannot, the bedrock for a sound democracy is protection of our civil liberties and our First Amendment right, which is what? The people's voice should matter.
But do you think
freedom of speech, election integrity, and they don't take it serious on the establishment side.
I agree on the election integrity. I think that's the most important thing. But I also think like people aren't really going to care about their civil liberties as much right now during a pandemic. The Medicare for all, like this is why I am so angry at Bernie and like all of these politicians caving in, because right now is the time to push for Medicare for all. Yeah. Right now it's the time to push for UBI. It's the time to push for a federal jobs guarantee.
Fam,
a Green New Deal.
It's the time to push for whatever you want.
Well, it's what we need.
Shut it the fuck down.
This pandemic is showing us if we had those things already, we wouldn't really be in this crisis. So for him to give up on that, and that's what I'm saying, Pasta. I'm not saying that your civil liberties aren't important, because obviously we're here because we're expressing our First Amendment right.
Yes.
But at the same time, people need to eat. They need to pay rent. They need to. It's this kind of conundrum.
Yeah, but
that
they
we
gotta
have to
understand
work
that
together.
the fact that it is part of the one mechanism from keeping them down, the number one mechanism from suppressing the voices, for telling people that they deserve more. We got to realize it's kind of like Better Call Saul. Saul kind of realized when he became a lawyer that most people are just uneducated, they're poor, they're idiots, they're not going to get it. And I'm not saying that we have just a nation full of stupid people, but a lot of people are consumed doing whatever. They don't understand the importance of civil liberties. And if you don't get that straight, we'll never get what we want, because no matter what, it will allow the powers they be, the elites, to control the masses of people.
Well, the narrative.
Because they'll control the narrative.
Yeah.
And people will then just fall in line and do what they need to do.
I guess my point is you don't give up on that. You continue to fight for that, using your First Amendment rights and your ability to go around the electorate. And I think election integrity, without any sort of election integrity, and nobody else but us and like maybe Jimmy Dore and a couple other people like Nico and Kit Cabello, their hard lines is really talking about election. Like, I mean, we have all been really diving deep into this, and like, you gotta
go have a show with Michael Tracy again. He wants to speak to you about that. I spoke to him, but I would like to get your perspective. And no, he wants to come back on too as well, because there are some people who really just think that. I don't get it. Like I said, you're not going to campaign in California, but yet you're going to get 500,000 votes in LA. You're going to get almost a million plus votes in California, and you didn't even campaign here. You didn't come to any convention. I mean, he didn't go to these Super Tuesday states, but yet he got the votes.
Do you know what Wisconsin turnout in Milwaukee was? 3%. And do you know that in 2016, Bernie Sanders, it was all green, Wisconsin, Milwaukee, Madison, all of it was Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
And this time around, guess who won? The Democratic candidate for Supreme Court judge in Wisconsin won. Bernie Sanders lost. What my friends in Wisconsin are telling me, it seems like it's flipped. You know how when they do the flip, they flip the things, instead of they put Joe Biden where Bernie is and Bernie with Joe. This sounds crazy if you're just hearing about it, but if you do the research, you find this is like common. Yeah. We have been enduring this since Bush. If Republicans do it, why do Democrats think that only Russians and Republicans can do it?
Yeah.
Like, obviously the machines are the same, the mechanisms are the same,
yeah.
Which is why we focus on that, because we're never going to get a progressive in through the Democratic Party unless we have, or any party. For that matter.
Do you remember when I was asking the registrar's assistant about who prints the ballots, the mail-in ballots? You know, it's like they said the other day, there's another scam that's kind of being exposed. And, you know, Donald Trump talked about it. It's a little bit different. When Republicans suppress the voice, they usually try to take away the voice from immigrants, felons,
voter
that
fraud.
kind of thing. They try to suppress it legally in their minds, make a law within the state saying you need 16 forms of ID.
The new Jim Crow laws,
Yeah, they try to do it that way, you know what I'm saying? But the Democrats do it in other nefarious ways. One of the ways that I would like to see, and this is what I'm saying, our auditing process has to come forth with, is mail-in ballots. Because I read an article the other day, and I'll pull it up. I started a folder where a lady in California, she lived in Northridge, her husband was dead, and he voted in the next 6 elections by way of mail-in ballot. This was a tactic used where Kennedy beat Nixon. And was it 66 or whatever it was? But they found in areas in Illinois where his father was a big mafioso guy, a bunch of dead people voted by mail-in. Same thing happened in Texas in the small area.
It's very, very rare.
No, I'm saying for the mail-in situation. It's just another form of cheating, and I think the Democrats have really juiced it up. I mean, I don't know, fam. I don't have the proof, but like I said, I bet you if we checked a lot of mail-in ballots here in California, a lot of them would have Biden on them, and I bet you a lot of them were dead people, and they were done by those Democratic leaders. I would bet on it. From all the information
California
I'm
was
running.
one of all the information I know. This primary was one of the most that had the most election fraud. Even though we won, and we won because of some great people that are here in the studio today, and because of those people's hard work. But like it would have been a landslide, and that's the thing. Like it's all these things coming together. I'm not saying it's one thing.
Yeah.
It's all these things coming together. That's why a lot of those people in Wisconsin were so angry with Bernie, because they risked their lives. And we're talking about weeks that he was talking about Biden's campaign, and these people risked their lives. Yes, he told them don't go vote, but they risked their lives. They believed in his message, and all these people still had to vote. They were still making phone calls, and then he just conceded just like that.
Yeah.
People are never going to forget that happened.
David Crow says, this is a confederacy of dunces. Thank you, fam, for fighting a hopeless battle. Love you. You make the best turkey meatloaf. Happy birthday, Pasta.
Fam, I do want to learn how to
smartest in the family.
shoot.
That's why I like you the
He
most.
did not say any of that.
That was a super chat
No, he did not
contribution. What are
say
you talking
the
about?
smartest in the family.
Okay, so let's talk about this. Kim Iverson was on over there on ROKFIN hanging out with Rocky Bellinger, Mike. I want to name all the people on our ROKFIN because you guys are the innovators, fam?
They're the pioneers.
Not the pioneers, not the trendsetters, not the followers. The Lori Jean Wagners of the world, the Kim Iversons, the Mikes, the Rocky B's. We love you all. Edward D. West. Thank you guys for going on over to our Convo Couch YouTube. Almost 200 of you, 300 of you almost, and you're hanging on out. Jai, we love you. But let's talk about
coffee,
this,
Jai.
Thank you for the
I
coffee.
finally got some coffee. He finally shared with me. Thank you so much.
You are such a liar.
I'm sorry.
I make coffee for her every day with Italian sweet cream. Don't listen to her.
That is my favorite.
If you want to see some of the breakfast I make them, go over to my Instagram @YoPasta. Same with Twitter @YoPasta.
Oh my God.
Check it out. Now let's talk about this, fam, because what is a new party going to look at? Hey, you over there, you pay attention to this because this involves some of the people that you have that you know. What's a third party going to look at? Let me give my shameless plug, and let's talk about this, fam.
Yeah.
Because it can't just be on the left, can it? Can't we get in the room? Play my tweet. What's that third party going to look like? Is it going to be another movement by the SJWs, social justice warriors who work for Bernie Sanders, who, in my opinion, are just as guilty of shrinking Bernie Sanders' base as the establishment? Oh yeah, you're just as guilty. You didn't want to work with people who thought differently than you. You damned people and shunned people because they had a different ideology than you. And more than anything, the SJWs were preyed upon by the establishment heads who played with your emotions and used you to go against people and groups that could have been major allies with major agreements. So I ask you, what is that third party going to look like? That's the $1 million question. I mean, is it going to be cancel culture again? Are we going to call people toxic because they don't agree with you? Are we going to call everybody a Nazi? Meanwhile, you're supporting a candidate in Bernie Sanders who was in the DNC that really didn't give a shit about your civil liberties, that didn't care about rigged elections, and they were just as big as warmongers as the Republicans. And now you got Bernie Sanders supporting Joe Biden. And I asked you, SJ Dubs, he said he'll veto Medicare for all, Joe Biden. He doesn't believe in a Green New Deal. He didn't do shit when the Standing Rock was going on. He took fracking money in the beginning of his campaign. So I ask you, now that you see the light, what's a third party gonna look like? Because people are really jumping right now to say, we need to start a third party, we need to start a third party. And I say pause. Don't get ahead of yourselves. What's a third party going to look like? Because it can't be based solely on the left. And even though some of those SJWs are my friends, you're just as guilty of shrinking that party as the establishment. And you need to hear it today. Because if you want to start a third party and you want real change, are you ready to agree with people on the other side of the aisle who don't agree with you, who don't see eye to eye? People who you could have major agreements when it comes to criminal justice reform, election integrity, ending regime change wars. You always talk about what's going on over here and the racism and the systemic issues we have, and yeah, I wouldn't deny them, but the most racist thing that we can do as a society is continue on with our imperialistic ways. Going around and bombing indigenous people in their homeland. Babies, children, civilians. So moving forward, the issues at home are important, but foreign policy matters. So I ask you, what is a third party going to look like?
Okay.
Ma'am, what is a third party going to look at? Like, because it can, once again, listen, and I wanted to give, listen, I wasn't seeking justice yesterday from what had happened. I was seeking the right passage, the right way forward. And I felt a lot of those people that we knew, those social justice warriors, those activists in the streets, and I love them, fam. I don't say that in such a negative way, but they refused to let people in the door. Not just the Tulsi people, but the Yang people. Anybody. It was like anybody who thought differently than them was pushed aside, shunned, and told to get the hell out. We need a coalition of all sorts. We need to make, peace with the libertarians and agree the things that we agree upon and find a way to bring everybody together in a populist way, not just on the left. And that's how I feel strongly about that. Building a party moving forward is going to take a coalition of all. It's going to take a village and different people within that village.
I don't necessarily agree with that. And the reason I don't agree with that is not because I'm not willing to listen to other people. I obviously am. SJW is a very charged term. I mean, a lot of the right uses it very negatively against people. I know what you mean when you say that people that don't really pay attention to the economic side of it and are very self-focused on the identity politics. I know that can be a hindrance in a lot of ways. But I think we need to focus instead of a party on a movement, a mass movement, to get a list of demands that we want and to then have some things come out of it. Maybe whether it's a third party or whether people join different parties. I do not think that everybody's going to be able to agree on something and join it together, because for those of us on the left, like myself and maybe people like Tina and Ron, we don't want to necessarily get to a point where we're making concessions and losing our sight of things that we value, like a Green New Deal, more socialist type of policies that we want to implement that we deem as equally as important as some of the things that maybe libertarians, and they're staunchly against it. So I'm not going to compromise that by necessarily joining a party like that. What I am saying is a party like that has a right to exist. A party like that should exist. There should be different debates and different dialogues. I think one answer and one party isn't going to be the answer. I think we're going to have multiple parties. Maybe in England you would be part of more the Socialist Libertarian Party and I would be a Green in England. You know what I mean? We should have that possibility of being in different types of party.
Yeah, but let's be honest too as well. When you say you don't want to make too many concessions, and I understand when groups let other types of coalitions come in, they could sometimes move away from their core values and whatnot. But they made no concessions on the left this time. Whatnot. A lot of Bernie Sanders people didn't want to make any concessions.
What type of concessions would you have liked them to have made? I guess I want to understand
Not
better.
Putting their issue just first. You know what I'm saying? Like understanding that if we don't have election integrity first, if we don't take care of our civil liberties, we can't get the things that we want. And no matter what, it always had to be Medicare for all had to be number one. And I think a lot of people like that Tulsi Gabbard group, they were down for a form of Medicare for all or sitting at the table and talking about it. I think the rhetoric kind of was washed up and thrown in away, and they really threw it back. But, I mean, they didn't want to make those concessions because those people from the Tulsi camp and those people from the Yang camp really cared about their civil liberties, and they were like, you got to get on our ship first.
But it was
if you're not fighting for
both.
Medicare for all first, and we were like, you can't have that unless we have election integrity.
And they didn't agree with you.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. And then you can have,
but they didn't make any concessions.
You can have both, though.
Yeah.
You can have both, and I think you need to fight for both, and you need to fight for all of it, like you said.
Yeah,
there needs to be again a mass movement that's not even focused on I'm in this party or I'm choosing this party. It has to come from the working people, and that's what I wouldn't call a new party a progressive party. Obama just said Biden's platform was the most progressive one in history. That word is done. It's dead. Pelosi's calling herself a progressive. Feinstein's calling herself a progressive. This is a working people's movement.
Yeah.
And all of those different people are going to fall on different spectrums. We're never all going to agree. So I think whatever movement that is should be inclusive. But out of that movement is where I think we're going to see different people disperse into different parties.
Absolutely.
But in order to get that, we need to demand change in our elections, because those parties are never going to have any power under the system we're in right now. It's a catch-22, and it's a very fine line, because a lot of people on the left, and I speak for myself, but a lot of my friends too, we are afraid that this is how fascism on either end, whether it's through the neoliberals or whether it's through the neocons, the Republicans, develops, because they are on one end, it's like a type of racially provoked fascism that's focused on a control, and on this one it's focused on getting rid of your civil liberties, discounting the elections, controlling the narrative through mainstream media propaganda. They're two sides of the same coin, and so we have to be very careful to how much of a concession we make. Like, I'm not saying I wouldn't necessarily ever talk to a Trump supporter. I've done it all the time, especially when I used to bartend. I would talk to people I disagreed with all the time. And I think it's something that needs to happen. However, a lot of these people aren't necessarily comfortable in making in really giving up on things that they hold true. And I don't think they have to.
Well, I don't think they need to, but they have to have some form of compromisation. If you sit down and you write on a paper and you say, what are the top 10 issues from each person, you know what I'm saying? They're going to be different. But why can't we look at the ones that we all agree on and say, okay, let's join forces and get that done first? Why wasn't that done with those
because
libertarians?
Because that's anti-establishment. That's not that's not like
well, I'm
leftist,
talking about starting a populist party and stuff like that. But if I wrote down all my issues,
Trump's a populist.
If you wrote down, but if we wrote down our issues, the libertarians are not happy with Trump. They're looking for somebody else other than Trump. He's an interventionist. They don't want to deal with him with that. He was wrong, soulful goods. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Mm-hmm. He was the shyster. He was the con man, and they got conned. They thought he might have been able to be somewhat of an interventionist, non-interventionist, and he wasn't. Yeah. So once again. But most Bernie Sanders deep down in the core is maybe Medicare for all and Green New Deal might be number 1 and 2. But number 4, they might have let's end regime change wars. Number 5, whereas a libertarian, a Tulsi person will have it number 1. So why couldn't we find a way to work together and let us in there? I went to a lot of Bernie groups where they knew I was a Tulsi person and they just ragged on Tulsi. And I'm like, don't you realize that we're an ally here and stuff? We have way more in common than we do apart. But it was still that same thing of, oh, well, why is she running against him? Whatnot? No, fuck off. You were wrong. Take your medicine now, okay? You were wrong. You were part of the fucking problem. You let the establishment leaders like Fayez Shakur and Matt Dust throw that shit out there, took the bait, and then it validated your hate for those other people not in your party, and including those Tulsi people. So they were played like fools, and they need to know they were just as responsible because the party shrunk under Bernie Sanders this time the way it was huge in 2016.
Right. I believe that was a mistake the campaign made, and I agree with you there that they completely shifted from a campaign that was focused on the working class, on all kinds of people. He went and talked to white working class people in the Midwest and Michigan, etc., who complained about NAFTA, who complained about the foreign policy, the trade policies of the Democrats. And so that's why they voted for Bernie Sanders. And he lost some of that this time around. He didn't have somebody like Tulsi on his side. He didn't have her foreign policy advice. He didn't have all these other more independent voices. Because you have to remember, Bernie Sanders has always been an independent. Mm-hmm. So when this campaign in 2020 came around, he had more specific policy goals, but he lacked the attacks against the Democratic establishment. Why? Because his advisors told him, you can't be like Donald Trump. Donald Trump is a populist on the right, and he's attacking the media, and he's attacking Democrats. If you do that, Bernie, you're going to look just like him. And guess what? He listened to them, and that's one of the reasons why he failed. He's siding more with the centrists right now, and that was his whole campaign. Why? His campaign was run by people from Center for American Progress. Let's be real here. Jeff Lieber should have never been in charge. Faiz Shakir should have never been in charge. They are establishment. And when it's a very top-down sort of controlled campaign that's establishment and you have the grassroots, it's completely jarring. They're not in agreement and it doesn't work. So I agree with you that there needed to be some form of that, and we lost some of that from 2016.
Yeah, and those two people that you mentioned in particular, they're the ones who put that rhetoric out there, and a lot of those SJWs, those, I don't mean in the wrong way, those activists, whatever, they took that bait and it validated their hate for Tulsi Gabbard, and they further deepen the wound by their words.
And it's
further deepen
and I
the
know
wound.
you mean it's beyond Tulsi Gabbard, because it's not even about,
Andrew Yang people too. It was
but
like, yeah,
but Andrew Yang doesn't align with my he went on CNN.
Yeah, but a UBI right now we would fight for a UBI.
UBI,
so,
but
I mean,
under capitalism, a UBI, like how long is that sustainable? Like how?
Yeah, but you got to have
so
most
many
people
things.
that come in and you come up with some certain stuff. You peel from here, you peel from there. It's like FDR. He took all those people, he gave them lip service and got them to come together. You have to do that some way. And I think it's better if you get people in the room and say, listen, this guy's a libertarian. He's going to be with us for ending regime change wars. He's going to help us get our election straight. Hey, he's going to help criminal justice reform because he hates locking people up for marijuana too. Those are great things, right? Yeah, okay. So you're going to do that together, but here's the problem. He doesn't believe in Medicare for all. He doesn't believe in Green New Deal. So you're going to have to come to some sort of concession down the road when you enter an agreement together. There's nothing wrong with that. And until we get to that level, we're like, okay, I'm going to walk in with people who aren't on my side, but they're on my side for this, and we're going to fight to get this done.
I get it, but every major country on earth has Medicare for all. Like, why aren't they for it's some people's litmus test, Medicare for all. I mean, it really is. People's families have died because they haven't been able to pay their bills, especially after this pandemic. People who aren't even political are like, we should have health care. Like it's kind of like rent control. Like I'm to the point. I'm the kind of person that thinks, housing is a human right, healthcare is a human right, all that. A lot of people aren't there yet, and I get that. But at the very least, we need affordable housing, and so these are things that people need to live. So you're not going to get them to concede to that. You might get them to work together on a mass populist movement, but to be part of the same party when their ideologies are vastly different, I don't think that's going to play out like that. I think it's going to be multiple parties.
Let's work on the movement. I like it. You know what? And we'll see what happens with the party. Life of the Brian says, love you, Pasta, but lefties hate conservatives more than they hate mass murders. And thank you for that super chat contribution.
Not all of us. I definitely don't.
If anybody got screwed by the establishment machine, it's Tulsi. And this is what River Oracle says. He's the Oracle down by the river. Look at that. Beautiful. He looks like the Tootsie Roll Tootsie Pop owl, that thing. I have no sympathy for Bernie. He shaded Tulsi just like the establishment. Yeah, and today, after those words, even Fiorella said herself that now I kind of forgive Tulsi because maybe she was told, I'm going to endorse Joe Biden. And Fiorella had a lot of faith in Bernie taking it at least to the convention to try and get something.
And it wasn't just me. It was a lot of people. That's what was said, actually. And something happened where he literally just didn't do it, and so that's why it's so crazy to us. A lot of people, he got absolutely nothing out of it. Zero, zilch, nada.
Yep. And we have those people who are hanging out on the ROKFIN. Well, each country has its own version of Medicare for all. Germany is very different than the UK.
Single payer is for me.
Said Rocky Bellinger, he didn't want to be viewed as Ralph Nader. Very, very good. And Mike says Bernie has a role to fulfill all along. He was a lifelong independent up until 7 or 8 years ago. If he was serious about wanting to be POTUS, why the fuck did he run as a Dem?
I mean, the system will screw anybody else, though. They could easily screw Greens, independents. I mean, they do all the time. That's what I'm saying. We have to change the system in order to even get a third party to be viable.
Change the system, and then it should be a working class party.
Exactly.
Working class.
A labor party, right?
Labor of some sort. Yeah, we're going to have, I think people would be genuinely interested in a party like that. I'm just saying the point isn't for that party to be all-encompassing. The point is for that party to be one of many parties. Because, like I said, we're not all going to agree and be part of the same party.
Yeah. It's interesting because, like on the show last week, Kim did say she's watching now. It can't be just the left, and I kind of feel the same way.
And you guys agree on that?
I do agree because once again, but that's the thing. I think that I don't know. It's just that I don't want to say we're realists and stuff, but we're gonna take the things that we can agree upon and say, okay, we'll work on the things that we don't agree upon later on. But let's get the things done that are really important. And here's the thing, fam. I say this all the time. I love the progressives and the progressive movements. I love all those people who get in the street. I love all those people who the litmus test is Medicare for all. But guess what? It's nothing without election integrity. Because no matter what, if we want somebody who's going to get in there and fight for election for Medicare for all, Green New Deal, we'll never get in there.
From now on, when you're vetting a candidate, that has to be one of their top. Absolutely.
It should be. And really, to tell you the truth, civil liberties are very important right now because they can be listening on our phone calls. They can do whatever they want. They have all the rights to do with the Patriot Act. I believe Joe Biden had his finger on that one. It was introduced by introduced by Jerry Nadler, but I believe Biden was involved too as well with the authoring of the Patriot Act, if I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I know he pushed it and whatnot. They all used it. Anytime there's a crisis, they're going to use it to take away our freedoms, says Rick Sanchez.
You son of a
bitch. Life of Brian, UBI is only sustainable because of the petrodollar. The petrodollar is only sustainable because of imperialism. Hence, UBI depends on imperial. Right. What if we had a UBI, universal basic income, paid in food?
If we had it under a socialist democracy, or that's where it would work. It works in those countries. Under America's system, I think it actually would be a hindrance. That's why I was never for Yang's Mr. CAA, Mr. I'm going to be a pundit on CNN Yang. Sorry, I'm not done with that. I didn't forgive that yet.
It is my birthday today, and on my birthday, I usually celebrate Craig Pasta Jardula. But somebody else says he wants to change my name.
Okay.
What do you think, ladies and gentlemen? Maybe we should put that up.
Well, there's 2 Johnnies now. So.
I know, right? Here we go. Who wants me to change my name? Take a look, ladies and gentlemen.
The Convo couch says, all I want for my birthday is Quando from Jimmy. Thank you, Pasta. Going live after tonight. Come join the family. That's from Craig Pasta over at the Convo couch. I think he should change his name to Johnny Pasta. Craig Pasta does not flow. Craig does not sound like an Italian name. How many Italians are named Craig? There's Vinny, there's Petey, there's Craig. Come on. It's got to be Johnny Pasta.
There's Fredo.
Anyway, Johnny Pasta's Convo couch. Hitting their super chat after the show.
So are you changing your name?
How you doing? I'm now Craig Pasta. I ain't changing Johnny Pasta.
Yeah, well, he's right. It's not really Italian, you know.
Kim Iverson says, it's your birthday. You get to be right all the time. Rocky Bellinger says, for the many, not the few. Oh, thank you so much. Can I get some pink dolphin?
Only because Kim's an Aries. That's why.
All the great people at
You
Aries.
hard-headed Arieses stick together.
You know, Tulsi, Kim,
I know.
Pasta.
It's crazy to me. It's
There's
like
a
no
lot
wonder.
of great Aries out there and stuff.
God.
So tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be going with our ROKFIN exclusive at 5 o'clock. We'll have a trivia show. So join us. If you haven't signed up for the ROKFIN, please do. And if you can endorse us for $9.99, you got that unemployment check. Put it on there. Endorse us. It helps it out. Okay. We take EBT. We take Jack in the Box gift certificates. We take whatever you got. We take it all. Put it on in. Help us endorse us out. So tomorrow at 5 o'clock Pacific time. Game show, fam. It's my birthday. You got anything else to talk about?
No. Well,
we have a clip. Let's take a look. We're exclusively on ROKFIN on Wednesdays. Kim, how you doing today? You're making your appearance on ROKFIN. How's everything going?
I'm ready to lose.
So you'll be playing for somebody to win a $15 gift certificate.
So I'm just worried no one's gonna pick me.
Ron, you were right. You got picked last.
Figured.
Go women. Alyssa Milano would be proud.
Oh, yeah. Me too.
You got 1 point instead of 2
like
points.
the Democratic primary.
Yeah.
Hey, listen.
It's rigged.
There are super delegates here.
Hashtag rigged. Hashtag male patriarchy.
Yeah, there's no way Bernie would tweet something like that.
Ron, we don't need your mansplaining right now, okay?
I was on your side.
I'm so sorry. You had the first pick, and you picked Kim Iverson.
No,
I'd like to ask
Glory
you.
Jones is with me.
Oh.
You're a great host, man. You're crushing this.
It says super progressive, not super smart, okay?
The winner.
Ron, now you know what it feels like to be Bernie Sanders right now, don't you?
Second place. Ron, drop out and give me back my money.
Meanwhile, I'm Kamala Harris over here.
Here it is. There was Kim Iverson last week. She joined us for the show. Ron Placone and Fiorella. Fiorella won, and guess what? I got a call today from Wes Gates, our shirt guy. He's got your shirts on in Carrie Mark, Freedom Tribe, and Glory Jones. We got all your shirts coming. Glory Jones won last time. I'm going to throw a couple things in there for you, Glory, because you get a little bit of a package.
A glory package.
A glory package for Glory Jones, fam. Anything else, Johnny?
All right, guys.
All right, so it is my birthday. Remember, tomorrow come. Thank you so much for all the Super Chat contributions, guys. It was always appreciated on this couch. Super Progressive is now in the house. We love you. Jai, Scrooge McDuck, everybody out there, Gamer for Life. We love you guys. Great White Shark.
Everybody.
You guys were amazing. Join us tomorrow for our ROKFIN exclusive. We got a lot of stuff going on. We'll have a lot of people coming in through this week. We're going to be talking about election integrity. We have a ton of stuff to go over, fam.
Yep.
The CARES Act. What else is going to happen? We don't know moving
Second
forward.
stimulus.
I hope you
bill.
didn't pay your rents. There's a rent strike. We need it. And for Pasta Jardula,
Fiorella.
Johnny Sue on the 1s and 2, Melissa, Eva, and the Boomerang.
Jeez. Convo out. Stop telling all our secrets.
Thank you. I'm 47 today.